Episode 3 The Fog. Episode 3 starts by a dream watched by Japanese lady that she drowning in the ocean. Suddenly she wake up. She sees that a triangle appeared on her dress. She looked in the room and comes to the dining hall. She sits with her mother and Miss Wilson. Miss Wilson started talking with her about returning back and asked her to meet her after breakfast in her room. Her mother said to her that it was their mistake that they come on that ship. Prometheus is being towed by the ship. Crester tries to open the lock of door to find her little sister. Captain Mora and Doctor examines the body of Ada. Doctor and Mora talks and the doctor leaves. Mora looked at the body and told Captain that she met with the Ada 2 days ago. Suddenly the speed of the ship gets slow and Captain rushes towards deck. On deck the weather is foggy, nothing can be seen, so the captain stops the ship there and to wait for weather to be clear. Mora and Captain goes into the room where Captain showed a ribbon which belonged to her daughter and told that he found that ribbon on Prometheus. His whole family died 2 years ago in a fire. Mora and Captain kept on talking. Captain showed Mora the secret door and said it should not be here. Captain said to Mora that he is going back to find the logbook. Mora also joins the captain. Everybody on third floor is in panic that why ship is stopped and inquiring about Ada. Everybody ask father to pray for them. Japanese comes into Miss Wilson room and removes her wig clothes and showed her his body naked. Miss Wilson looks at her and said that you are beautiful. Lay down, I have to see something. Girl laid down naked and Miss Wilson opened her legs and started to put her finger in her. Miss Wilson said that you are still virgin. The girl takes her clothes. Miss Wilson warns her to not to betray her again and be ready at 8 o'clock. Captain and crew are taking with each other. Everyone wants to know what is happening at the ship. Captain didn't reply and leave for Prometheus. First mate Sebastian in the ship opens the electricity box and turn on the ship. The boy is sitting in the room. He takes the triangle stone and leaves the room from hidden passage under the bed. Captain and Mora traveled towards the ship and talked with each other about Dr. Murray conclusions regarding Ada. Captain asked Mora about her children. She replied that due to a miscarriage she can't be a mother again. Japanese and her mother are taking about Miss Wilson. Her mother argued with her daughter about their miserable life. Ling Yi left the room weeping and runs towards the deck of the ship which was covered with fog. Her mother called her back but she ran and hides in a trunk. She recalls her past there where she and her mother murdered someone on their ship and puts the body in a trunk. Suddenly someone throws the trunk in water and Ling Yi drowned in the sea. Oleg opens the trunk and told her that was a dream and gave his jacket to save from cold. Her mother is still calling her but Oleg takes her to another hideout. On the third class everyone is taking about why the ship is being stopped. A crew member comes to Ade's sister and told her that she found her sister. He takes his sister to morgue where she looks at her dead sister. She asked about her murder. Crew member replies no one knows who did that. She took her body with her to third class. Everybody was in deep sorrow. Crester and Angel again met on deck. Angel asked Crester about the scars on his face. Angel opens his pants and moves his finger in his pants. Crester stops his hand and grabbed Angel pant and force Angel towards him. Crester moves his hands in Angel pant. Mora and Captain arrived at Prometheus and started finding logbook. They went downstairs and Captain watched the same hidden passage in that room. Mora went into the room and start looking in the room. The little boy comes out under the bed with the triangle and started looking at the door where Daniel's insect crawl in the room and Daniel opens the lock and come in the room. Boy looked at her and takes the insect on his hand. Daniel asked that did you found that thing? Boy replied no. Captain and Mora are taking about that secret passage. Captain told that months before 3 German ships were sold and they were restored. The sign of triangle is the logo of company. Oleg and Ling Yi comes on the back of the ship. Oleg leaves and Ling Yi looked at the fog. She touched the fog and again she went into a dream where she saw the same ship and saw her sister. She asked her sister to leave but she said that she has said bye to everyone and her ship will leave tomorrow. She showed a same Japanese dress with triangle to Ling Yi. May fell down on floor and Lingy asked about the drink. May she said that you gave me that drink. Lingy kept on weeping, and dream was over. Oleg comes in and Lingy told her about the past and hugged him. Crester comes in the room and looked at Ade body. Crester started breaking the window. Her sister stopped him, both hugged each other and cried. The crewman left, on way he saw more dead bodies and he rang emergency bells. In Prometheus, Captain and Mora were searching. Captain showed him steam pressure. Mora keep on searching and started searching the furnace for skeleton and remains. Captain found the passenger list of Prometheus and hides it in his jacket. Mora asked about it but he refused and they returned back. Lingy returned to the room. She started wearing her Japanese costumes and to tell Miss Wilson that she is ready. The Frenchman tried to take his injection but his wife arrives, and he left the room. He comes to Lingy rooms and goes in. Miss Wilson lights up her cigarette and puts money in a box. Lingy dances for him. Her wife found his medicines. Lingy stops the dance and was removing her clothes but he stopped. He start taking with Lingy with his shivering body. He falls on the ground and Lingy sat beside him. Captain and Mora returned back from Prometheus and Captain says to Mora to not tell anyone about their visit to Prometheus. Crew members are finding more bodies just like Ada. Crew members walked the third floor passengers and told everyone about bodies. And asked them to take up weapons and fight with Captain to get ship back to destination. Oleg started running toward Captain but was caught and locked with Jerome. Crowd walks toward First Class. Angel and Ramiro talked with each other. Ramiro looked on Angel's sketchbook and asked about Crystal. Angel told Ramiro about situation and ship will go back for its destination but Ramiro said he didn't want it to know anymore. They both talked and Ramiro left the room. Captain closed the hidden passage and again looked the passenger list, on which Mora's name was also written. Mora is looking in the window and Daniel comes in. He talked about the fog and Captain decision. Daniel and Mora were taking in gunman walked to Captain door. Ramiro told the Captain about them and gunman takes all the crew. They changed the ship towards Europe. Daniel in his room uses a remote, by which the steam pressure started working. And after that the ship has disappeared.